everybody asks me with colouring with alcohol markers is, how do I do skin? So let's do skin first, because actually that is the thing that you tell me you struggle with the most, and it's one of the easiest things to do. As long as you use colours from either flesh or figure, all of the colours have been worked out for you. They're going to go together beautifully. And I've got 3 different colours. I've got a light, a medium and a dark. So we're going with the lightest, and the lightest colour is ivory. And I'm using my brush nib. So here we go. And the same, now are we going up, or are we going to the side to have a look at this? We're going to the side to have a look at this. So I'll turn it around so you can see it. So what I always do when I'm colouring in a face is preserve my highlight in the centre. And I've talked to you lots of times about why your highlight would be in the centre. And that's because that's the part of your face which is the furthest forward. So if you think about shadows being cast, or where your face is the lightest, the furthest forward bit is the lightest, which is definitely going to be your nose, and then it's your lips. So this is where we would have the shade, which is around the hairline, so that would be in shadow underneath the hair, and around the sides of the face, it's furthest back. This is going to be the lightest part of the face. That first layer of colour, look how beautifully smooth and diffused that is. No effort at all, that's the brush nib for you. Then we're going to go with the next colour, the next more intense colour, which is ivory. Sorry, I beg your pardon, cream. I beg of your pardon. And then we're going to go round the outside again. So we're not going all the way over, we're just coming in with the intensities a little bit more. So you see we've just blended a little bit between the cream and the first colour, lovely. And then we've got our next colour, which is the linen, and we've got our brush nib. And then I'm coming in just around the perimeter. So you see I went from the lightest to the mediest, is that a new word I've just developed there? To the medium. And then we've got now the darkest colour, and that's just coming round the edge. Because of the quality of the ink and the brush nib, you don't even have to do any blending. That just absolutely softly diffuses and does that for you. Look how fabulous that's looking. You get into that lovely definition between the 3 colours. Then you go back to your light colour and you use that to bring in and just diffuse that into the centre, back over your preserved highlight. And you've got that lovely light in the middle of the face then. So you've gone through the 3 different colours. Now you can, if you want to intensify that a little bit more, if you like it a little bit darker around the outside, I've got here the Eggshell, which is the next intensity up. And look what I can do with this lovely soft brush nib, is just go around the edge of the face where the shadow would be, and just add in a little more depth if that's what I want to do. And it's completely and utterly effortless with this brush nib. It just does the blending for you. Look how lovely that's starting to look, and you've got that lovely soft diffusion in there. Then we need some blush. So we've got a rose blush colour, which comes in your figure collection, I believe. I've got my brush nib for this one, and then I'm going to chisel in some cheeks. So some chiseled cheeks are just a little triangle, which are very easy to do with your brush nib. And you can see there that this looks probably a little bit more intense than I'd want it to be, but you're going to see why in a second. That's fine, because then we get one of our lightest colours again, and all we do is go to the edge, not right this way over, just go to the edge and go around, and that softly diffuses that out. So you've got that lovely chiseled cheek into her face there, starting to look gorgeous. Now you can add a little bit more and go over the top again. I've just got this one here. Here we are. And so if I wanted to just give that a little bit more definition, there we go. So you see how easy it is to build that up. And then what we've got, you know, and I was complaining about somebody messing all the pens up before. I'm doing exactly the same thing myself. We need to go through and put them back in order, but I'm just ramming them all back in. I wanted to have a nice red lip, because I like a nice red lip. So we're going to go with, I want a nice little coral to go in there. Let's go with this cocktail pink, that'll be lovely. This is where your fine bullet tip really comes into its own. So you see what I can do with that fine bullet tip is go with that lovely bright red and just go in the corners here. So there and there. And then with that lovely pink and my fine tip, this is why a little fine tip is fantastic. is just bring that in a little bit further. And then just to get the shine on her lip, I want a very light baby pink, which I've got here. And then I'm just going to join the two together. And I've got that lovely red lip with a shine in the middle. So her lips look like they're shining. Really, really easy to do and very effortless. And you can see how now her face and that cheek, can you see how it's settled down? If you start, when you're colouring, if you start to get a little bit of blotchy, or if it doesn't look like it's quite blended as you've wanted, it's because you've got some wet areas of alcohol and some dry areas of alcohol. You need to let your colouring dry completely, because it will continue to blend and move, and different areas, depending on how much ink is in an area, will dry at different intensities at different times. So the wet spaces will take longer, the drier spaces will not take so long. So just leave it all to dry for that alcohol to evaporate completely, and then you'll be able to see how beautifully smooth it is once it's completely dry, because you can see that face changing as I've left that alone. Now, just one more quick thing to show you would be her hair, because it's another thing that you really struggle with at home. So I just want to get 3 or 4 different colours for her hair. So I can show you how fabulous that would be. I'm going to go with this one. See, I'm doing all of the messing the colours up again, but you know, the crafty fairy loves me, she'll not mind. Now let me just show you this. Right, so we've got 4 colours in the tan family, which have come from several different collections that I showed you earlier across all of those box sets. I've got TN2, TN7, TN8 and TN9, which stands for tan. And now I'm just going to flick in her hair. You will never have been able to achieve hair as easily as this without a brush nib. So all I'm doing is taking the tip and flicking it in. And because I can vary that, so I've got that beautiful long stroke, look how soft that is. So it can go from intense to that beautiful soft flick, and just follow that hair around. And that's with TN2. So that's with your lightest tone. Again, notice I'm leaving some white areas, so I'm preserving my highlight in certain places. And really easy, as long as you remember just to do your little flicks and preserve your highlight in certain places. Then we're going to go with our next colour, which is TN7. I'm going to do exactly as I've just done. So I'm just doing little flicks in the same place, but varying the length. So going over but not completely obliterating the TN2 that I've just done. So I'm accentuating it. So I'm just flicking in the same direction as you can see there. Then I'm going to my next one, which is TN9. So I'm going one step darker all the way. Couple of little flicks in here. What that starts to do is just naturally get that light and shade in the right place for you if you just follow the lines of the hair. We've got lots and lots of online tutorials as well, so you'll be able to head along and look at our online tutorials for how to use your brush nibs and your different types of alcohol marker and get this effect. Doing the same with the next colour. So I'm just getting my flicks in place, and then finally with my TN2 again, what I will do is go and fill in where I had preserved highlights, do my flicking over the top, which will blend all of those colours in that I've just put on there. Goes over the highlight, so the highlight's being preserved, so the highlight stays in place, and just with the brush nib, and that's very quick. You will take more time. You can get that beautiful movement and flicks in her hair, which is really, really exquisite. So many different things you can do. Now, if you were wondering which ink pad to use with your Illustrator markers, let me tell you, you need to use Finesse Alcohol Proof. So this is the Finesse Alcohol Proof ink pad. That's what I've stamped with. And that's what you're going to get the beautiful, crisp, precise image with, so that you can colour over the top of it and it will not smudge, bleed or blur or move at all. So Finesse Alcohol Proof ink pads is what you'll need, and they're in 4 different colours. They are in Flagstone, Rustic Brown, Pebble and Noir Black. So you've got 4 lovely colours in those as well. So if you are getting your Illustrator markers, you do need your Finesse Alcohol Proof pens in the bag as well.